On this episode of the Big Success Show, clear your mind. 5 simple steps to cut mental clutter.
Big Success with the professor and Mary-Lynn.
I can picture it now, Mary-Lynn. My brain has somehow been turned into a computer monitor, and I've got all of these tabs open.
Oh, boy.
You ever feel that way?
Yes.
Man, it seems like it happens to me all the time. So let's cut through the noise fast. I mean, let's face it, you don't need more productivity hacks. You only need one podcast, and that's Big Success. You don't need a better to-do list. You need a clear mind. Because here's what's really going on. You're stuck because your brain is overloaded. And when your mind is cluttered, everything feels harder. Decisions take longer, focus disappears, motivation drops, progress stalls. So let's fix it.
Yes, let's close those tabs. Welcome to the Big Success Show, where we help you create the life you want. Hi, I'm Mary-Lynn.
And I'm George, the professor.
In this episode, we're going to explore what exactly mental clutter is, the 5 biggest sources of mental clutter, and how to clear it out, and the hidden advantage of clarity. First, what does mental clutter look like?
Mental clutter is anything taking up space in your head that doesn't need to be there right now. It looks like too many ideas all at once. Unfinished tasks looping in your mind. Looping. Constant.
I thought you said you were loopy.
Well, that may be true too. Constant inputs like email, our social feed, news, worry, guilt, or what-if thinking.
And here's what science tells us. As digital devices that are always in our hands and the internet have reduced our ability to focus. And so the bottom line is a cluttered mind can't produce clear results. So what should we do about mental clutter, Professor?
Well, the best thing to do isn't to organize it. It's to eliminate it.
We can't organize all that clutter, huh?
Yes, and as I do this, Mary-Lynn, this is the modern version of Ben Franklin's, his 13 virtues, and he said the one he struggled with most was orderliness. And I think of that every time we start talking about this subject of mental clutter, because now he didn't have to deal with mental clutter so much as we do.
Yeah, and the 13 virtues from Ben Franklin is one of our most popular podcasts and discussions, and we do have a link to it in our show notes since you brought it up, Professor.
Yeah, so the point is you don't need to organize your clutter. You need to eliminate it. Most people try to push through the noise. High performers remove it.
All right, so that moves us on to the 5 biggest sources of mental clutter. And because Big Success isn't just about theory, it's about execution, we're going to talk about how to clear it out as well. So the first source of mental clutter is information clutter.
And as we've already kind of alluded to, this is, without question, this is the biggest culprit today. Social media, emails, podcasts, news. We're dealing with stuff that a generation ago hadn't even heard of it.
And it's not all bad clutter.
Absolutely.
We're so fortunate in the world today, kind of fortunate and unfortunate that we have so much information at our fingertips, so much access to information.
But the thing is, your brain wasn't designed for that volume.
Good point.
Every scroll, every ping, every headline adds another layer. And if you're constantly consuming, your brain never gets a break.
So how do we clear all of this information clutter out? Well, first, turn off non-essential notifications. You hear that all the time, but it really does help. Second, check email and social media at set times, not all day. You'll find yourself, I'm just going to go check this thing real quick, and then an hour later or 15 minutes later. That's a lot of time and a lot of information. And unfollow anything that doesn't serve your goals.
Yeah, protect your attention like it's your most valuable asset, because it is.
The second source of mental clutter is decision clutter, because too many options equals decision paralysis.
Yeah, and this shows up as too many goals. It's possible to have too many goals.
Yeah.
Too many ideas. I've never been accused of that, Mary-Lynn.
Yes.
Mary-Lynn gets tired of my too many ideas.
Oh, you're a big thinker, George.
and too many directions. All of these things give you too much to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have too much that feels important. And that creates hesitation and overwhelm.
So how do you clear that out? Well, one thing that the professor often says and needs to remind himself of is to pick your top 3 priorities and no more, right?
That's right. Exactly. Because what actually is going to move you forward? That's what you're looking for. And put everything else in a not now list or a not to do list.
Hmm.
I kind of like that version. This is what I'm not to do right now, because I get to write it down or make a note of it, and I know it's there. So I've taken care of my need for information.
Or you don't have to throw the idea out.
Right.
Right? It's not like you won't do it someday,
Right.
but it's just not now.
I think of it as a warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got our information warehouse, and so here on the shelf is this item that we need to do at some point, but it doesn't need to be done right now. It's just going to sit in the warehouse until we're ready to move it to the retail floor.
Okay. All right. See, for anybody who doesn't know, the professor at one time worked in retail, owned a retail store franchise. So that's why he's got this retail mindset.
And from this, we want to take away that clarity comes from limiting options, not expanding them.
Today's show is about how to clear your mind, some simple steps to reduce mind clutter. And right now we're talking about the 5 biggest sources of mental clutter. Number 3 is environmental clutter.
Your environment shapes your thinking. Cluttered spaces reduce focus and they increase stress.
So how do we clear it out? Well, there's a lot of popular trends out there on how to clear out clutter, and they all say the same thing. Don't try to tackle it all at once. Is just focus on one area and start there. So
where do I start, Mary-Lynn?
Well, start with your desk.
Okay.
Start your workspace. Maybe just your email, or clear out one category of your email. Just one little step. That's all you have to do.
That's right, because research shows that organized spaces improve focus and reduce stress, and even the smallest changes can make a big, and that's big with 2 G's, big impact.
The 4th biggest source of mental clutter is open loop clutter.
Open loop.
And what we mean by that is unfinished stuff.
These are like silent stressors. They're things like tasks you haven't finished yet. Oh, it just eats away at you, doesn't it? Decisions you've delayed. Conversations you're avoiding. They sit in your mind and drain energy.
Right. When you're just trying to have a peaceful moment, and then it'll be like, oh, there's that thing you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And it'll just pop in your head. And then what was supposed to be a relaxing moment becomes a stressful moment.
That's right.
So how do you clear that out?
Do a quick loop sweep. Write everything down and then decide for each item, do it, schedule it, or delete it. You make the choice. Capture and close those loops that are taking up space.
That sounds good. And the 5th biggest source of mental clutter is emotional clutter. This is the deepest layer of clutter there is. Things like fear of failure, which we've talked about recently, and we've got a link to it in our show notes because it's so important and it's so deep.
And at least equally as important, fear of success.
Yeah.
We've been kind of on a kick on this lately. We've actually done this in episode number
1196. We've got a link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, and things like self-doubt, guilt. You can't focus when your mind is carrying all this emotional weight.
So how do we clear this deep stuff out? We can try journaling, talking it out with a trusted colleague, a trusted relative, a therapist. Also, reframing your thoughts.
Even small emotional releases create mental space.
Now, here's something that most people miss. It's the hidden advantage of clarity. Because when you remove clutter, you don't just feel better, you perform better. You make faster decisions. You take more consistent action. You're going to feel more confident. You stop second-guessing everything because now you see clearly.
So why is it that most people stay stuck? Oh, well, that's pretty simple. Mental clutter sticks around you when you don't have a clear direction. Direction is everything. If you're unsure where you're going, everything feels important. You chase too many things. You hold on to unnecessary decisions. That's exhausting, and it's avoidable.
This is exactly why we built the BIGG Success Life Map system. Because when you get clear on what matters most, where you're headed, and what to focus on now, something very powerful happens.
Yeah, you naturally start cutting the mental clutter. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop overthinking every move. You start acting with purpose. and a clear path simplifies everything.
You can learn more about the Life Map at lifemapcourse.com. Now let's get to your big assignment for this episode from the professor.
Now do this 20-minute mental clutter reset once a day. You're going to feel the difference almost immediately. Step 1, brain dump. Now this is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes. Write down everything on your mind at that moment in time. Tasks, ideas, worries. Get it out of your head and onto paper. Step 2, clarify. Take about 5 minutes on this step. Ask what actually matters today. Circle the top 1 to 3 priorities. Everything else, not today. And then step 3, act. Spend 10 to 60 minutes picking one thing and then working on it with full focus. No phone, no multitasking, no distractions. This is how momentum gets started. Now step 4, reset 2 to 5 minutes. At the end of the day, clear your space, choose tomorrow's number 1 priority, and then close the loop.
That's a good one. And now let's get to today's big takeaway.
You don't need to do more to succeed. You need to think more clearly.
Because big success isn't built on a crowded mind. It's built on clarity, focus, and intentional action.
So start here. Cut the clutter. Choose what matters. It leads to big success.
Next time, have you ever worked really hard to achieve something, only to feel a little empty inside afterward instead of fulfilled? We're going to share why this happens, plus how to make sure you're enjoying both the journey and the destination. Subscribe to the Big Success Show in your favorite podcast channel so you don't miss it. Sharing is one of the best ways to support our show. If you like the show, just be sure to do that. By the way, while you're doing it, you can get connected with us on social media. We're at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's. And if you're ready to think more strategically about your next step, start with our newsletter. Sign up at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's, success.com/join.
And we thank you so much for listening. Until next time, here's to your big success.
Find Big Success at BIGG Success.com.